Hello, this video is designed to be a little bit of a workaround for Respondus 4.0. So this video isn't going to cover all the ins and outs of Respondus. There is a separate video for that, but this is just a workaround piece. As a reminder, Respondus 4.0 is used by faculty to create quizzes in D2L. The process is that they build the quiz in Word using the special formatting. They send that into Respondus, and then from within Respondus, that gets sent into D2L. But what we're focusing on in this video is what happens if you cannot use the auto-publish part of Respondus to push your quiz into D2L. You get error messages or things like that. Is there a workaround for it? More of a manual process? And there is. So we want to highlight that here. So again, before we get started, this video is really geared towards people who are a little bit more familiar with Respondus. I'm going to skip over some things that you probably know if you've used Respondus before. So if this is confusing, let me know, or check out the regular Respondus video that shows you all the ins and outs, takes you from the ground up. But so first of all, we'll open up Respondus, and we'll just open up a Respondus file and use it to pretend like we're going to push this into D2L. So I already have one created, so I'm just going to open it, and I'm just going to choose the one that I already have open, and then I'm just going to skip to the publish part because that's where the workaround comes into play. So at this point, I'm going to go to preview and publish. You guys normally know in most cases we would go to publish and then do publish wizard. This is where you would connect to the Brightspace server. So I have one already connected here, but I would add a new server, and I would go through the process of checking for the pre-configured settings and going through that. Now this is a little bit different now if you are doing this for the first time recently, especially if you've used it in the past. You're going to notice that it asks you to open up a browser, log into D2L. It actually asks you to do that twice, and that's not what you're used to doing here, and that is because we have single sign-on now for D2L. So for in this case, you would choose this, you would go through this process. And then when you go to run the connection test, it's actually going to give you a pop-up here saying to open it in a browser window and then log in and click OK to continue and all of that. So that's a little bit different. It is downloading a authentication plug-in that it's using to be able to log into D2 now that we have single sign-on. So if you have error messages with that and you're not able to get through using and connecting it to the automatic way to push Respondus into D2L, that's what I call this, is the automatic way, because Respondus, once you get them connected, will automatically push the D2L link in. So a workaround for that is if we're actually on this same page, and we're just right here on the publish wizard, instead of choosing this to publish to a course and moving on and trying to connect it, you can actually choose this one, which is export the QTI XTML for a manual upload to Brightspace. So you can choose that and then press next. And then you would choose of course this would be a quiz, and you want to leave your settings in random sections applied. And then we're going to choose step 2, which is going to be save as, and we're going to just save this to our desktop for now. And note that this is going to be the name of your quiz, so I'm actually just going to copy this because I'll use this later. So I'm going to save that to my desktop. And now I'm going to follow these set of instructions, which is going to be importing it into D2L. Now we're going to go into the course where we'd like to put the quiz, and we're going to go to course admin, and then we're going to go to import export copy components. This probably looks familiar to you because this is where you actually go to copy a course over from another section, if you're maybe using a course over and copying it from a previous semester. But in this case, we're going to do import components, and we're going to start that. And then it's going to let us upload the file. So we're going to pick this file from where we saved it on our desktop just a minute ago. Notice that when you save this, it actually makes a text document and a compressed zip file. You're actually going to choose the zip file in this case. And then we're going to choose advanced options. And once it has done its pre-processing, we're going to choose to continue. And then we're going to select the components that we want to copy in. So I would just encourage you probably to check everything here because you're probably wanting everything to be copied. Then next, under this import file 2, we're going to paste in what I copied just a minute ago, which is the name of the quiz. Now, very important that you just kind of copy and paste it like we did earlier, because this has to be exact in terms of spacing, characters, capitalization. It has to be exact for the quiz to talk to it. And then you can choose if you're going to overwrite or not overwrite if this file already exists. This file doesn't already exist, so there's really no need for this, but I'll just choose it to not overwrite. I can choose to import the metadata. There's really no need for me to offset the dates because this didn't have dates in it anyways. And then I will continue on. So then it's going to start the process of importing. So it tells me that it was imported, so I can view that content. And basically, I'm just going to go now into the quizzes area and check and make sure that that quiz did come over. And we see that it did come over, just as if you had used the auto push over to from Respondus to D2L. So it was just something that you did manually versus auto pushing it over. I do want to go ahead and edit this quiz though, and I want to make sure that the random sections are correct, and then of course I want to go through and set up the rest of my quiz as normal, paying particular attention to, of course, the restrictions tab, putting in the start and end date, putting in my timing for the quiz. Under the assessment area, making sure to make the grading sandwich these two buttons, and then associating it to the grade item that it goes with, putting in the number of attempts, and then changing the submission view of what they're going to be able to see when they submit. But in terms of the workaround, we've now successfully gotten the quiz in D2L. And then so just on Respondus, again, this is where we were before, where we chose the quiz, we saved it to our desktop, it gave us the instructions of what to do, we make sure that this is all correct, and then now we can choose finish. And then of course, before you close out Respondus, because we're done with it, since the test is now in D2L, you may just want to do a quick save to make sure that it does save any changes to your Respondus file, just in case you ever want to go back and open it again and reuse it, it's up to date in that sense. So that is a little bit of a workaround. If you're not able to do the auto publish, you can do somewhat of the manual publish, where basically you download the file out of Respondus and upload it into D2L.